Your methods are outdated, Elena, Superintendent Mark Reynolds sneered, his polished Denver office gleaming with corporate sterility. The board suggests early retirement. We need Lincoln High modernized. I, Elena Vasquez, 54, gripped my chair, masking fury. After 18 years as principal, raising graduation rates from 72% to 95%, I was being discarded. And if I stay? I asked, voice steady. His smug smile widened. A performance plan's ready, your evaluation shows tech deficiencies. My silence wasn't surrender, it was strategy. Lincoln High thrived under me, 85% of students pursued college, and I knew every kid's story. Reynolds, new and ambitious, pushed flashy tech reforms, ignoring my proven approach. You'll get a generous package, he said, adjusting his cufflinks. Decide by Monday. He expected compliance, underestimating the woman who'd built a school from grit and care. Raised by immigrant parents, I'd fought for education, earning my Ed.D. while raising Mateo, now 17. Reynolds' betrayal stung, but I saw his flaw, arrogance. I nodded, leaving his office, my mind racing. My silence was power, not defeat. By Monday, I'd turn his dismissal into my advantage, ensuring his modernization would falter without me. The Denver District boardroom buzzed with tension, fluorescent lights casting harsh shadows. I, Elena Vasquez, sat among Lincoln High staff, my heart pounding as Superintendent Mark Reynolds addressed the board. Lincoln needs innovation, he declared, his tailored suit gleaming. Ms. Vasquez's outdated methods hinder progress. My 18-year tenure was being dismantled before 30 colleagues, my son Mateo, 17, watching from the back. My silence had a plan to expose his reckless reforms. Reynolds flashed slides of test scores, cherry-picked to downplay my 95% graduation rate. Our tech-driven vision, digital hubs, AI assessments, will elevate us, he said, ignoring my balanced approach that had boosted college admissions by 85%. Teachers shifted uncomfortably, parents whispered. Mateo's eyes met mine, his worry palpable. Rosa, my veteran math chair, mouthed, "This is wrong." I nodded, my calm deliberate. Elena's evaluations show resistance to technology, Reynolds continued, his voice dripping with condescension. We've offered retirement, but a performance plan is ready. The board nodded, swayed by his buzzwords. I'd raised Lincoln from a struggling school, mentoring kids like Aisha, now at Stanford, yet he painted me as obsolete. My open-door policy, my late-night parent meetings, erased. A board member asked, how will tech improve outcomes? Reynolds grinned. Digital platforms streamline learning, replacing inefficient traditions. He'd never taught, never seen my students thrive through human connection. Rosa raised her hand. Ms. Vasquez's methods doubled our AP enrollment. Why discard them? Reynolds deflected, we're building on past successes. His lie stung, but I stayed silent, noting allies. Mateo texted, Mom, fight back. I replied, patience, mijo. He'll trip. Reynolds' reforms, tablet-only classes, reduced teacher contact, were untested, his promises unsustainable. I'd seen his budget, $2 million for tech, cut from counseling. His arrogance was my weapon, the board's applause was his trap. As the meeting ended, Reynolds networked, promising 21st century schools. I slipped out, Rosa and parents like Mrs. Chen following. We know your impact, Elena, Mrs. Chen said. What's your plan? I smiled. Document everything, our scores, my programs. I emailed Dr. Susan Lee, State Education Commissioner, who'd praised my work. I'm retiring but want to consult, I wrote, attaching my data, 95% graduation, 80% teacher retention. She replied, meet me tomorrow. Back home, Mateo hugged me. You're not outdated, Mom. His faith fueled me. Reynolds thought he'd silenced me, but my silence was gathering strength. I compiled records, student outcomes, parent letters, knowing his reforms would falter. The boardroom was his stage, but the truth would be mine. In my Denver home, I, Elena Vasquez, accepted early retirement from Lincoln High, but my silence was a strategy. Superintendent Mark Reynolds' betrayal, dismissing my 18-year legacy, pushed me to a new path. Dr. Susan Lee, state commissioner, offered me a senior advisory role, leveraging my expertise to shape Colorado's education policy. I'd use this platform to expose Reynolds' failing reforms, my evidence already mounting, 95% graduation rates, 85% college admissions under my leadership. I documented Lincoln's successes meticulously, AP enrollment up 200%, teacher retention at 80%, timestamped reports predating Reynolds' tenure. His tech-heavy reforms, slashing counseling for digital hubs, were unraveling. I reviewed his budget, $1.8 million misallocated, student engagement down 15%. My state role gave me access to district data, revealing his errors. I crafted reports for Susan, contrasting my balanced approach with his chaos. Reynolds strutted at district events, unaware of my influence. He emailed, "Elena, consult for us?" I replied, "My state duties keep me busy," knowing he feared my reports. Susan said, "Your data's shifting policy, Elena. Keep pushing." I refined strategies, blending tech thoughtfully with human connection, outpacing Reynolds' gimmicks. Mateo, 17, noticed my late nights. "You're fighting for Lincoln, Mom," he said, reading my notes. His pride, as a Lincoln senior, fueled me. "It's for kids like you," I told him. Teachers like Rosa texted, "He's losing control." I invited them to share data, building allies. By July, I'd logged 500 pages of evidence, my state reports cited in board reviews. Reynolds' arrogance grew, he pitched AI grading statewide, ignoring teacher protests. My silence let his errors amplify, my reports a quiet trap. Susan's team drafted a school recovery framework, my ideas at its core. Mateo's trust, my allies' support, and my data fortified me. Reynolds had pushed me out, but I'd reclaim my legacy, proving experience triumphs over flash. 9 months after retiring, I, Elena Vasquez, wielded my silence like a blade, my state advisory role amplifying my influence. My evidence, 600 pages of Lincoln High's metrics under my leadership, exposed Superintendent Mark Reynolds' failures. Graduation rates had dropped to 82%, math scores fell 20%, and teacher turnover hit 25% under his tech-heavy reforms. My reports, detailing my 95% graduation rate and 85% college admissions, were presented to the state board, contrasting Reynolds' chaos with my proven methods. I logged data relentlessly, 300 student surveys, 50 teacher testimonials, and budget analyses showing $2.1 million wasted on untested tech. Rosa, my math chair, shared discipline reports, incidents up 30%. Parents like Mrs. Chen sent letters praising my tenure, decrying Reynolds' changes. My state framework, blending tech with human connection, gained traction, adopted by 5 districts. Susan Lee said, "Your work's reshaping policy, Elena." Reynolds struggled. A Denver Post article highlighted Lincoln's decline, quoting anonymous teachers. He called, desperate. "Elena, help us fix this." I replied, "Review my state reports," knowing he couldn't match my results. His AI grading pilot failed, students disengaged, scores plummeted. My silence let his errors compound, my evidence a public trap. Mateo, 17, saw my resolve. "You're saving Lincoln, Mom," he said, helping compile data. His college applications, inspired by my fight, reflected his pride. Colleagues rallied, Rosa organized a parent petition for a board review. By October, my reports triggered state scrutiny of Reynolds' leadership. My silence wasn't revenge, it was justice, ensuring Lincoln students weren't pawns in his ambition. In November, I, Elena Vasquez, broke my silence, sharing my evidence with Lincoln High's teachers and parents. In a community meeting, I presented 600 pages of data, my 95% graduation rate, 85% college admissions, and 80% teacher retention, compared to Reynolds' 82% graduation and 25% turnover. Superintendent Reynolds' reforms are failing our kids, I said, showing graphs. Shock turned to resolve, my allies awoke to fight for Lincoln's future. Rosa, my math chair, spoke up. Elena's methods worked, we saw it. Parents like Mrs. Chen nodded, recalling my open-door policy. Teachers signed a petition, 40 strong, demanding a board review. We trusted Reynolds' vision, a science teacher said, but he's dismantled what Elena built. My evidence, student surveys, parent letters, proved my impact, their loyalty shifting to truth. Mateo, 17, learned my sacrifices. You gave up weekends for us, he said, reading my old schedules. His pride as a Lincoln senior fueled him. He spoke at the meeting, voice steady. Ms. Vasquez made us believe in ourselves. Our bond deepened, his college essays citing my fight. You're my hero, Mom, he said, hugging me. Allies confronted Reynolds at a board session. Rosa asked, why ignore Elena's data? Parents pressed, our kids' scores are tanking. Reynolds stammered, we're adjusting. My silence had empowered them, they saw his lies. The petition, backed by 200 parents, forced a state investigation. My allies' awakening ensured Reynolds' reforms wouldn't erase Lincoln's legacy. In March 2026, my state reports triggered a Colorado Education Board investigation into Superintendent Mark Reynolds' leadership. I, Elena Vasquez, presented 700 pages of evidence, my 95% graduation rates, 85% college admissions, against Reynolds' 82% graduation and 20% score drops. The board found mismanagement, revoking $3 million in district grants. Reynolds resigned, his reforms discredited, his career in tatters. The investigation confirmed Reynolds' tech obsession, $2.2 million on failed AI tools, harmed students. Lincoln's new principal, a Reynolds pick, was replaced by Rosa, my ally. My reports, adopted statewide, restored balanced education. Teachers returned, scores climbed 10% in months. Susan Lee praised me, your silence exposed him, Elena. Mateo, 18, celebrated. You saved Lincoln, Mom, he said, accepted to see you Boulder. My silence wasn't vengeance, it was truth, protecting students. Reynolds emailed, pleading for a reference. I didn't reply, my data spoke. My state role grew, mentoring districts. My legacy, built on evidence, proved resilience outshines ambition. A year after Reynolds' fall, I, Elena Vasquez, led Colorado's school recovery program, mentoring principals across 20 districts. My Denver office buzzed with purpose, walls lined with student thank you notes. Mateo, 18, thrived at CU Boulder, his dorm room plastered with Lincoln High pennants. You showed me grit, Mom, he said during a hike, our laughter echoing in the Rockies. My silence had turned betrayal into a legacy, my life vibrant with impact. Our new home, a sunny bungalow, was alive with Mateo's visits, taco nights, his guitar strumming. Lincoln High, under Rosa, hit 90% graduation, math scores up 15%. My statewide framework, blending tech and human connection, helped 50 schools, earning a governor's citation. I trained 200 educators, sharing my balanced approach. Aisha, now a Stanford grad, emailed, you changed my life, Ms. Vasquez. My book, Building Resilience, Lessons from Lincoln High, launched to acclaim, its Denver signing packed with teachers and parents. Rosa toasted, you proved experience wins. My strategies, mentoring, data-driven instruction, were taught in ed.d. programs. I keynote conferences, my name synonymous with reform. My silence had built an empire of truth. Contrast Reynolds, jobless, his reforms a case study in failure, living in a small Aurora apartment. He called Mateo, voice hollow, admitting errors. I told him you're unstoppable, Mom, Mateo grinned, tossing a frisbee. I sent Reynolds my book, inscribed, Data Builds, Arrogance Blinds. Certified mail confirmed delivery, his silence followed. Our backyard bloomed with Mateo's chili peppers, our summer barbecues hosting Lincoln students. These moments, joyful, grounded, erased Reynolds' betrayal. My journal, once heavy with data, now held Mateo's milestones: his first A, his environmental club. My program expanded, a federal grant pending. Mateo's college essay, My Mother's Fight, won a scholarship, calling me his guide. As we stargazed, his dreams soaring, I knew silence had crafted a future where truth prevailed. My silence turned betrayal into triumph. I, Elena Vasquez, let Mark Reynolds' arrogance unravel, restoring Lincoln High's legacy with data and truth. My school recovery program thrives, guiding 50 schools, while Mateo, 18, shines at college, inspired by my fight. His chili peppers bloom, our home a haven, while Reynolds, alone in Aurora, faces the silence he imposed, his career dust. My silence wasn't weakness, it was strength, proving wisdom outshines flash. My book, program, and student successes are my legacy, built on resilience. If this story of quiet victory moved you, hit like. My favorite moment was Elena's evidence exposing Reynolds. Yours? Mateo's speech? The book's launch? Share below and subscribe for more tales of truth prevailing.